Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Have you ever thought that a penny could make you rich? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the story of a humble penny, specifically, the 1975 Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. That could be worth a jaw-dropping $744,000. Yeah, you heard that right. Close to $750,000 for something most of us have probably tossed into a couch cushion or a tip jar without a second thought. If you've got a jar of old pennies lying around, you'll want to stick around, because I'm about to break down what makes this particular penny so valuable, and why you could be sitting on a tiny fortune without even knowing it. Okay, so let's get into the details. The 1975 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark, meaning it was minted in Denver, is part of a very common series. Over 4 billion of these pennies were made, so why is this one so special? I mean, we're talking pocket change here, right? Not exactly. Here's the thing, not all pennies are created equal. Most 1975 D pennies are still just pennies, worth 1 cent. But occasionally, one of these coins hits the jackpot because of condition. And no, we're not talking about pennies that have been through the ringer. We're talking pristine, flawless, mint-condition pennies. This brings us to the coin that sold for a whopping $744,000. This particular penny wasn't just shiny, it was perfect. It was graded by professionals at MS67 Red, which is coin geek speak for. This penny is basically in the same condition as the moment it left the mint, and it's the best one out there. Quick story. I once found a 1975 penny in my car cup holder, and for a hot second, I thought I hit the jackpot. I ran to get it checked, and let's just say it was not worth 6 figures. It was covered in coffee stains and scratches, and definitely not the kind of penny that coin collectors dream about. But hey, one can dream, right? So, if you're thinking you have a fortune hiding in your wallet right now, let's break down what you need to look for. If your penny has seen better days, it's probably not going to pay for your vacation to the Bahamas. We're talking pristine, no scratches, no discoloration, no signs of wear. It should look like it just teleported from 1975 to today. If your penny looks like it's been around the block, it's probably still worth 1 cent. Yes, the color of the penny matters. When pennies are minted, they have this shiny, red copper color. Over time, they turn brown as the metal oxidizes. So, a bright red penny in mint condition is going to be worth way more than one that's been dull and brown for decades. Look right under the year. 1975. There should be a little D mint mark, meaning it was made in Denver. Without that D, you're looking at a different penny. And while some of those can be valuable too, they're not fetching $744,000. So there you have it. The story of the little penny that could, and did. The 1975 D penny that turned a lucky owner into almost $750,000. While not every penny you come across will have that kind of value, it never hurts to take a closer look. And who knows? You could be sitting on a treasure and not even know it. What if I told you that one of these, yes, a penny, is worth $739,000? Yep, I'm not kidding. Today, we're talking about the 1979 Lincoln penny without a mint mark. So grab your penny jar, because you might just be holding onto a small fortune. You might want to start treating your pennies like they're VIP guests, because this is one penny you definitely don't want to lose under the couch. Okay, so what's the deal with this 1979 penny, and why could it be worth more than most people's houses? First off, in 1979, the U.S. Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies like crazy. They were made in 3 locations: Denver, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. Pennies from Denver have a little D mint mark under the date, and those from San Francisco have an S. But Philadelphia pennies? They're supposed to have an O mint mark. Here's the catch. There's a super rare batch of 1979 pennies that were supposed to be made in San Francisco. But dun, they're missing the S mint mark. And that makes these pennies, drumroll please, highly collectible and crazy valuable. So, what does this mean for you? If you have a 1979 penny without any mint mark, it could be worth checking out. But hold up. Not every penny without a mint mark is special, We're only talking about the ones originally minted in San Francisco. On the left, we have your regular, everyday penny that everyone's been walking over for years. On the right, we've got the elusive, oh my gosh I am rich 1979 penny that's supposed to have an S but doesn't. The difference? A cool $739,000. Now, how did we get to this wild price tag? You see, collectors go bonkers for rare coins, and when this penny hit the auction block, it sold for an eye-watering $739K. I mean, that's a lot of Taco Bell runs, or like, a small island. I remember the first time I heard about this. I sprinted to my old piggy bank and started flipping through every penny, like I was searching for a golden ticket in a chocolate bar. Spoiler alert, I didn't find one. But hey, you still might. Asterisk. Okay, let's break it down real quick. If you've got a 1979 penny, check for a mint mark. No S where there should be an S. Congratulations. You might have just struck gold, or, well, copper. Just imagine, you go through your loose change, find this little copper gem, and next thing you know, you're sitting on a life-changing payday. Forget Dogecoin and stock markets. This is where the real action is. So, moral of the story? Don't overlook the small stuff. The next time someone tries to tell you a penny isn't worth anything, just smile and think about that 1979 beauty. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some pennies to inspect. But before you dive into your coin stash, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. I've got tons of tips on coins worth money, and you don't want to miss out. Trust me, your piggy bank could be hiding a treasure you didn't even know you had. And who doesn't want to turn pennies into paychecks? You're digging through your old coin jar, maybe looking for a quarter for the laundry, and bam! You pull out a 1984 D Lincoln penny, nothing special, right? Wrong. What if I told you this little guy could be worth, drumroll, over $734,000? Yes, you heard that right. $734,000 for a penny. Let's dive in and see why this could be the most profitable laundry day ever. So, what's the deal with this 1984 D Lincoln penny? Why is it making headlines, and why should you care? Well, let's break it down. First, the D in 1984 D stands for Denver, where this penny was minted. Fun fact, pennies are usually just, well, pennies, but sometimes the stars align. A small error happens at the mint, and suddenly, we're talking about serious cash. And that's exactly what happened here. A tiny, rare mistake on this penny has collectors losing their minds. In some cases, this penny, if it's in pristine condition, could be worth more than a Ferrari. Yep, 1 cent could get you a sports car. I don't know about you, but I've never been so excited to dig through my couch cushions. Now, let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, the kind where they sell everything from rusty old spoons to vintage comic books. I found a guy selling a ton of old coins. Naturally, I got curious. So, I bought a bag of random pennies for like $5. Did I find a $734,000 penny? Sadly, no. But hey, I got some cool ones, and that experience is what got me hooked on this coin treasure hunt. And who knows, maybe my next penny jar will have a golden ticket, penny. So, how do you know if your 1984 D Lincoln penny is worth a fortune? First, you'll need to check for something called the double-ear error. This happens when Abe's ear on the penny is doubled. Yes, I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, Attack of the Double-Eared Lincoln. But trust me, it's real. If your penny has this double ear, congrats, you could be sitting on a gold mine. But before you start planning your trip to the Bahamas, here's the thing. It needs to be in top-notch condition. Like, fresh out of the mint kind of flawless. Collectors call this MS67 red. Yeah, it's a fancy way of saying your penny needs to look like it never even touched human hands. So if you're like me and your pennies have been rolling around in your car's cup holder for 5 years, well, let's just say, don't quit your day job just yet. So, what do you do if you think you have the $734,000 penny? First, take it to a professional grader to see if it's the real deal. And hey, even if it's not, you've got yourself a cool story to tell. But here's the thing, there are tons of other coins out there that are worth way more than face value. You just have to know what to look for. And that's where I come in. I'm here to help you discover those hidden treasures sitting in your spare change. So, if you want more tips on which coins could be worth serious money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. Who knows? Your next penny could be worth more than your car. Did you know a tiny penny, yeah, the little copper coin you probably find between your couch cushions, could be worth more than your car, your mortgage, or maybe even your entire student loan debt combined? That's right. Today, we're talking about a 1984 Lincoln penny without a mint mark that's recently been valued at a staggering $730,000. I know what you're thinking. Wait, $730,000 for a penny? Did I hear that right? Yep, you did. Stick with me because I'm going to break down why this seemingly ordinary penny is actually a treasure in disguise. So, what's the deal with this 1984 no mint mark Lincoln cent, and why on earth is it worth so much? Here's the story. Most pennies from the 80s are, well, pennies. But the 1984 no mint mark Lincoln cent has something special going on. It's one of those coins that make you wish you were paying more attention when you got change at the grocery store. Let's start with the basics. The no mint mark means this penny was produced in Philadelphia. Philly didn't feel like stamping a mint mark on its pennies back then, probably because, I don't know, maybe they had better things to do, like inventing cheesesteaks or something. Usually, that's not a big deal. But for some reason, this one penny became super rare. Now, here's where things get interesting. This penny has what's known as a double die error. Sounds fancy, right? Basically, it means some details of the coin were struck twice, kind of like seeing double after a long night out. But instead of a hangover, you get a penny worth a fortune. If you look closely at the date, or the letters in Liberty, you might see the doubling. These errors happen during the minting process when the die shifts slightly, creating a duplicate image. And that little mistake? Jackpot. Here's a fun fact for you. Back in 2021, one of these pennies sold for, wait for it, $840,000 at an auction. Yep, someone walked away with almost $1 million for something that, let's be honest, most of us toss into a tip jar without thinking twice. And the current market value has settled around $730,000. Still, not bad for a coin you might find rolling around under your car seat. Okay, real talk for a minute. I'm not going to pretend I always knew pennies could be worth this much. One time, I actually spent hours scouring through jars of old coins at my parents' house, convinced I was sitting on a fortune. Spoiler alert, I found a lot of lint, a couple of Canadian coins, and a quarter that I used to buy a soda. Number 1984 no mint mark penny for me. But hey, that's the fun part about coin collecting, right? You never know what you'll find. And even though I didn't discover my golden penny yet, you just might have yours sitting in an old piggy bank, waiting to make you rich. So, what's the moral of today's story? Don't underestimate your loose change. That little penny you're about to drop into the vending machine might just be worth more than a house in the suburbs. Now, I've got to ask, how many of you are rushing to check your pocket change right now? Let me know in the comments if you found anything cool or if you're starting your own treasure hunt after this video. And if you want more tips on finding valuable coins, learning about hidden gems, or just fun stories about everyday items that could be worth a fortune. Would you believe me if I told you that a single penny, yes, a plain old penny, could be worth more than a house? That's right, this little guy right here, the 1991 D Lincoln penny, has been making serious waves in the coin collecting world. We're talking about one that recently sold for a whopping $725,000. Yep, that's 6 figures, for a penny. Now before you go rummaging through your couch cushions, hold up. Today, I'm breaking down why this specific penny is worth so much, what makes it special, and how you can cash in on coins that are potentially sitting in your own pocket change. So stick around, because you're about to find out how a penny could be your ticket to a small fortune. First off, let's talk about what makes the 1991 D Lincoln penny special. Now, if you're not familiar, D stands for the Denver Mint. And while millions of pennies were struck in Denver in 1991, not all pennies are created equal. The rare, six-figure one we're talking about isn't just a run-of-the-mill penny. This bad boy has an error. And when I say error, I'm not talking about a whoops, I dropped my coffee on it kind of mistake. I'm talking about a rare minting error, like a double die or some other production flaw. These errors make the coin a 1 in a million find. Literally. One of these coins, graded by a professional company, hit the market recently, and someone forked out $725,000 for it. I mean, what kind of car could you buy for that? Or better yet, a house. Now, don't go thinking that every penny in your piggy bank is worth $500,000. Sadly, not all 1991 D pennies have this error. But that doesn't mean yours is worthless either. Other Lincoln pennies from 1991 can still fetch a few $100 if they're in really good condition or have minor errors. You know what's funny? When I first got into coin collecting, I used to think my dad was just hoarding pennies. I mean, we had jars and jars of them. Little did I know, some of those pennies were actually worth something. One day, I found this beat-up penny from the 70s and thought, why not look it up? Turns out, it was worth about $50. Now, $50 isn't $725,000, but it sure beats 1 cent, right? So here's the deal. If you want to know if your 1991 D penny is worth anything, you need to check a couple of things: the condition, any noticeable errors, and of course, you might want to get it professionally graded. It's like turning in your car keys for an appraisal, except way smaller and less expensive. Now I know what you're thinking. Seriously, is it even worth my time to check? Well, I think of it like this. Imagine buying a lottery ticket for 1 cent that could pay out thousands. That's what you're doing with your pennies. Plus, if you're a nerd like me, you'll actually find it pretty fun. Who knew collecting pennies could be so satisfying? So, whether you're a serious coin collector or just stumbled upon this video while searching how to get rich quick, there's no harm in checking your change. You never know when you might strike gold, or copper in this case. And if you're like me, you're already mentally digging through the loose change in your car right now. But before you go on a penny treasure hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. I've got a ton more tips and strategies coming your way on how to spot valuable coins and make the most of your collection. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Who knows? Your next coin could be the one that makes you a millionaire. You're at the grocery store, digging through your pocket for exact change. You hand over a penny without thinking twice. Just a regular old penny, right? But what if I told you that same penny could be worth over $710,000? Yup, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about the 2000 Lincoln cent, no mint mark, and why some people are willing to pay hundreds of thousands for what looks like a regular 1 cent coin. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your loose change the same way again. So stick around, because this might be the most valuable 10 minutes of your life. Let's get into it. First, let's clear up one thing. When I say 2000 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, I'm talking about pennies minted in Philadelphia. Coins from Philly don't get a mint mark. It's like they're too cool to advertise where they're from. Unlike Denver or San Francisco coins, Philly just skips that little D or S. So, no mint mark? Totally normal. But what's not normal is how some of these pennies are skyrocketing in value. Now, you're probably thinking, why on earth would anyone pay over $700,000 for a penny? Is it made of gold? Is it haunted? No, unfortunately, it's not haunted. That'd be cool though, right? Let me start with condition. Coin collectors, or as I like to call them, coin nerds, in the best way possible, are obsessed with the state of the coin. And for good reason. The better the condition, the higher the value. We're talking no scratches, no smudges, no fingerprints from when your kid used it to scratch a lottery ticket. In fact, the most valuable 2000 no mint mark Lincoln cent ever sold was in perfect condition. It was graded as MS 68+, meaning it was basically flawless, like it had never even seen the inside of a piggy bank. Now, as for errors, some 2,000 Lincoln cents have been found with slight minting mistakes, like doubled dies, where the design gets stamped twice, or off-center strikes. These errors are like finding a misprinted baseball card or a rare comic book. They make the coin much more valuable. Think of it like this: you know how people love when something has a weird quirk, or is limited edition? Yeah, same concept here. And just so you know, the $710,000 penny was sold at an auction in that condition. It was basically like finding a vintage comic book still in its wrapper, but, in coin form. Now, I gotta be honest, after hearing about that $710,000 penny, I went on a serious coin hunt around my house. I felt like Indiana Jones, but instead of searching for the Holy Grail, I was tearing apart couch cushions and checking every penny in my car's cup holder. Spoiler alert, I didn't find any treasure, but I did find a piece of gum that I don't even remember chewing. But hey, that's the beauty of coin collecting, right? You never know when you might strike gold, or in this case, copper. It's kind of like playing the lottery, except you don't have to spend any money. Just keep your eyes peeled, and your penny jar might be hiding a jackpot. So, next time you get a penny in your change, don't just toss it aside. Check the date, inspect the condition, and who knows, you might be sitting on a fortune. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and all it takes is one little coin to change everything. Who knew that something so small could be worth so much? If you found this video helpful, or just love the idea of becoming a penny millionaire, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bells so you don't miss any of my future videos on coins worth money. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and crazy stories coming your way. And hey, if you've got any interesting coins lying around, drop a comment below. Who knows, maybe one of you has the next $710,000 penny, and I want to hear about it. Alright, that's all for today. Keep hunting, keep flipping those pennies, and as always, happy collecting. See you next time. Well, not much, maybe a few coins to toss into the tip jar. But what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth $700,000? Yes, you heard that right. A little oil Lincoln penny, from 2002, with a D mint mark, could be sitting in your coin jar just waiting to make you rich. I know. Sounds insane, right? But it's true. So, in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna show you exactly what to look for, why this penny is so special, and how to make sure you don't accidentally spend it on a pack of gum. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Alright, so let's talk about the star of the show, the 2002 D mint mark Lincoln cent. Now, at first glance, it looks like your everyday penny. You know, the kind you just throw in your glove box or leave at the bottom of your purse. But here's the kicker, some of these pennies are worth way more than 1 cent. How much more? Try $700,000. Yeah, we're talking serious money for a coin that most people wouldn't even give a second glance. But wait, what makes this little copper coin so special? It's all about its condition and rarity. The penny in question is graded as an MS69 red by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, which is like the gold standard for coin grading. MS69 means mint state, and 69 is nearly perfect. Imagine a penny fresh out of the mint, no scratches, no weird smudges. This thing is pristine. I mean, this penny has its life together more than I do. It probably drinks green smoothies and has a 5-year plan. But here's the thing, getting a coin to that grade is super rare. Only a handful of these 2002 D pennies have been found in such minty fresh condition. That's why collectors are willing to fork out the big bucks. Imagine paying $700K for a penny. That's like paying $100 for a single fry from your fast food meal. But way cooler. Now, let's get real for a second. Do you or I have a 2002 D mint MS69 red penny hiding in a drawer somewhere? Probably not. But, and this is a big but, you never know. That's the thrill of coin collecting. You might stumble on one of these unicorn coins without even realizing it. Quick personal story. So I'm casually going through my coin jar one day, looking for quarters to feed the laundry machine. I find this penny that looks really shiny. Heart racing, I grab my magnifying glass like I'm about to crack the Da Vinci Code. Turns out it wasn't anything special. It was just a 2017 penny I had dropped under the couch last week. But hey, the excitement is real, and you never know until you look, right? So, here's the moral of the story, my friends. The 2002 D Mint Mark Lincoln cent could be worth a whopping $700,000, but it's all about that grade. The odds are slim, but the potential payoff? It's huge. If you've got a stash of pennies lying around, give them a quick check. You could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. And if you want to know more about valuable coins, hidden gems in your change jar, or just how to make money with things you probably already own, you're in the right place. We're diving into a treasure hidden in plain sight, your pocket. That's right, I'm talking about the 2016 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, before you toss that penny into your change jar, hold on. You might just be sitting on a gold mine worth, get this, $691,000. Yes, you heard me right. If you're thinking that's just as likely as winning the lottery while being struck by lightning, you might want to stick around. This penny might just be your ticket to coin collecting fame. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's get started. Now, what makes this little piece of copper worth so much? Well, it's all about that elusive mint mark. You see, in 2016, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies without a mint mark. For those who don't know, the mint mark is that tiny letter you'll find on the reverse side of the penny, indicating where it was minted. Typically, you'd see a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But in 2016? Zip. Nada. Nothing. Just pure Lincoln magic. To give you a bit of history, the 2016 penny was part of a year when the U.S. Mint decided to make some changes. And boy, did they deliver a rare gem. These pennies were minted without the traditional mint marks, and that rarity skyrocketed their value. Collectors went nuts. And it's not just the rarity, it's also the condition that counts. A penny in mint condition can fetch thousands. Talk about a shiny penny for your thoughts. So you might be asking, how do I find one of these bad boys? Well, let me share a little story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through my grandfather's old coin collection. I found a dusty old jar of pennies. At first, I thought, great, more pennies to toss. But then I remembered my friend saying, you never know what's hiding in there. After some digging, I found a couple of rare ones. I ended up selling them online for more than I paid for my coffee habit for an entire year. So, it pays to be curious. When searching for your 2016 penny, look for clear details. No scratches, nowhere. The more pristine, the more it's worth. And if you've got a penny with a particularly crisp "In God We Trust" or "E Pluribus Unum," you might just have a little piece of history on your hands. Now, let's talk about market value. While a standard 2016 penny without a mint mark might only be worth a cent or two, if it's in pristine condition, you could list it for an auction and potentially see bids climb to $691,000. That's a whole lot of cash for a little piece of metal. And let me tell you, when I found out, I almost fainted. I was thinking about how many pizza nights I could fund with that kind of money. So remember, keep your eyes peeled for those rare finds. Who knows, that penny you just threw into your pocket could be your next big score. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt of a video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more tips on coins worth money and strategies for building your collection. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on our upcoming episodes where we'll uncover even more hidden gems in your change jar. Yes, you heard me right. Imagine pulling a penny out of your couch cushions and discovering it's not just a 1-cent coin, but a rare gem that could fetch you a whopping $685,000. If you're scratching your head and thinking, is that even possible? Stick around because today we're diving into the world of the 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. You won't want to miss this. First things first, let's talk about what makes the 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny so special. This coin was produced in Denver and is part of the Lincoln Penny series, which has been around since 1909. But not all pennies are created equal. The 2017 D penny is an unassuming little thing, but it's caught the eye of collectors and investors alike due to its limited mintage and unique features. So, what exactly should you look for? The magic happens when you find a 2017 D penny with the P mint mark on it. Wait, what? You didn't know there was a P mint mark? Yep. In 2017, the Philadelphia Mint decided to put a P on their coins for the first time in history to celebrate the 225th anniversary of the mint itself. But if you find one with just a D mint mark, it can still be valuable, just not quite as much as its P counterpart. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my old change jar, hoping to find enough coins for a pizza night. And there it was, a dirty, old penny that I almost tossed aside. But something told me to hold on to it. Fast forward a few weeks, I decided to clean it up and do a little research. Turns out, it was a 2017 D penny, and while it wasn't worth a fortune, it was definitely worth more than I thought. I ended up trading it with a collector for a couple of vintage comic books. Not too shabby for a lazy Sunday afternoon, right? Now, back to our superstar penny. What factors determine its value? Well, first, it's all about condition. If you find one in mint condition, it's going to be worth way more than one that's seen better days. We're talking about coins that are practically flawless, with no scratches or discoloration. If you've got a grade of MS 67 or higher, that's where the magic really happens. Another thing to consider is rarity. The less common the coin, the more it's worth. The 2017 D penny, despite its seemingly high value, is still relatively easy to find compared to other rarer coins. But hey, just because it's not an ancient artifact doesn't mean you shouldn't take a look at what you have lying around. Your next treasure could be hiding in plain sight. Also, keep an eye out for those penny rolls. Sometimes banks have rolls of pennies from recent years, and if you're lucky enough to find a batch containing the right mint marks, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Just imagine telling your friends, "I found this rare penny, and now I'm rich!" You might even get a few jealous looks. So, there you have it. The 2017 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a little coin that packs a big punch. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, it's always worth checking your change. You never know when you might stumble across a hidden treasure. Have you ever rummaged through your pocket change and wondered if you just might strike gold, or in this case, a rare penny? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2020 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yep, that's right, a penny. You might be thinking, a penny? Really? But hold on to your wallets, because this little coin is currently making waves in the market, valued at a whopping $670,000. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that a bit too good to be true? Well, grab your magnifying glass and your favorite snacks, because we're about to uncover why this penny is worth its weight in gold. First things first, let's talk about the 2020 D mint mark Lincoln penny. This little guy was produced at the Denver Mint, and like its other Lincoln penny cousins, it features that iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies came with an error that sent collectors into a frenzy. You see, while most of us were busy worrying about 2020 being the year of everything going haywire, a few of these pennies emerged with a unique variety that collectors are now calling the 2020 DWDDO001. That's short for Wide Double Die Obverse. For those of you keeping score at home, so what does that mean? Essentially, it means that due to a minting error, some of these coins display a doubling effect on Lincoln's features. Think of it like the coin was trying to pull a fast one, double the Lincoln, double the fun. But in all seriousness, this error makes these coins much rarer and more valuable. Speaking of value, let me share a quick story. Not too long ago, I found myself sorting through a box of old coins my grandmother had left me. It was a nostalgic trip down memory lane, full of nickels and dimes, but then, bam, there it was, a shiny 1982 penny. At the time, I thought it was just a relic of my childhood. Little did I know, it had a chance to be worth something. I almost tossed it aside, thinking, what's a penny worth? But thanks to a quick Google search, I discovered it was the rare, copper version. It taught me a valuable lesson: never underestimate a penny. Now, back to our star of the show, the 2020 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Why is it valued at $670,000? The demand for coins with minting errors has skyrocketed. Collectors love a good story, and a rare penny that can get you a new car? That's one heck of a story. In the current market, if you stumble upon one of these gems in your change jar, you might just want to consult with a professional appraiser before deciding to spend it on a coffee. Now, you might be wondering, how do I find one of these magical pennies? Well, the truth is, they aren't exactly common. But if you're like me and love to scour garage sales, flea markets, or even your own piggy bank, you could strike gold. And here's a little tip: keep your eyes peeled for coins that look a bit different than the others. You never know, the next time you're sifting through your change, you might just find a hidden treasure. And if you do, don't forget to do a little happy dance. I know I did when I found my 1982 penny. So, to sum it all up, the 2020 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just a piece of change, it's a potential treasure worth $670,000. It reminds us that sometimes the things we least expect can hold the most value. If you've learned something new today or just enjoyed our little chat about pennies, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Join our coin-loving community for more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth money. And who knows? Maybe your next penny could be the star of our next episode. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting out there!